Hi, third graders, and happy Friday. Today, we are going to continue building a reading life together, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Okay. So, like I said, we're building a reading life here in the third grade at Willow Lake. I want to start today by telling you a little story. I was in the neighborhood, and I do mean our school neighborhood, third grade. And I heard Miss Froby and Mrs. Whitson talking about a book. And I stopped right in my tracks and I said, what book could they be talking about? They were so excited. They were talking about the characters and the story, and they were just going on and on because they were so excited. It was a beautiful thing. They were so excited about the book they were reading. That book was The One and Only Ivan. And let me tell you what, I wanted to read that book too after I was done listening to them because they were just so excited to share with one another all about that book. What's the buzz about reading, right? That's what we have to ask ourselves. What's the buzz about some of our favorite books? Today we're going to do an inquiry. And I know you've heard that term inquiry before because of our social studies unit. What are some systems that we use or have used in the past to help readers find really good books? So, what ways in the past have you found a really good book? Think back to your classrooms in the past. Where have you gotten really good books? And how have you known that you'd like them? How have you decided to choose your books? Think back for a second and think of where you have found really good books in the past and how you found really good books in the past. Go ahead, imagine your classroom's libraries from previous years. We're all going to think for a moment. Everyone create a mind movie of your classroom libraries in the past. Okay, so take a moment to think. How have we found those good books in the past? There's different things that are happening in the classroom that helps us to find them. Bins labeled in different ways, right? Our classroom library organization really helps us find the right book that we're looking for. They can be labeled by genre. We have fiction and nonfiction and mystery and horror, all different kinds of genres of books. And that helps us know and helps us learn what we like. If I really love nonfiction books, I'll know right where to find a new nonfiction book that's the perfect fit for me. We talked about that perfect fit, and finding a book you're excited about helps make that book just right. It's my level. I like the genre. Maybe I like the topic. The next way a classroom library might be organized is by level. And again, this is super important to help you find that just right book that you can be excited about. There's levels J and K and every level you can imagine in our classroom library. And that's so important because it helps you go straight to the level that you're at. Books could be separated by topic and organized by topic. This helps us decide and it helps us choose books that we are really interested in, we're passionate about. I really like baking. Maybe there's a book on baking. I wouldn't know unless I looked at the topic labels and really perused through. That word peruse means look through. Class favorites. This is my personal favorite place to look for a book because it's books that we as a community really care about. So if our class decides we love a book that we read together so much, or somebody in the class finds a book that they just think everyone should have access to and they think everyone should read it, it might go in a class favorite section. Another way to help our class find really good books, another system is keeping up the buzz, right? If we chat about reading and have different systems to share about reading and to advertise our good books, it makes it easier for our friends to find awesome books that they love. So by doing turn and talks and by doing presentations and by really advertising some of our favorite books, we can help others find books that they love too and to share in that reading. Here's a place again where we would put some of our favorite books and where we would put little projects that we do about our favorite books. So if I'm wondering, wow, Abby and I really get along. I wonder what book she likes. I could go to our favorite book section and listen to what Abby has to say about her favorite book. Again, book advertisement. By doing projects about books, we get to describe to our friends what they're like. We give them a little sneak peek about the book and we get them interested. Just like I was interested when I heard my teacher friends in the neighborhood talking about them, right? When they were talking about it, I still had to read the story to know what they were talking about, but I had heard just enough and I was interested to read too. Again, just plain old chatting about our reading is a good way to get excited and to find those books that we will be so excited about. You can also keep your friends in mind. You can always recommend new books to one another. If I know Natalie loves horses and I find a really good horse book, I might say to Natalie, Natalie, listen, you have to read this horse book. I'm recommending it to you. That word, recommend. So you might be thinking, Miss Bryce, you silly lady, how are we supposed to do all that at home? Well, you always have the chance when we're on Zoom together to chat about what you've read, right? Morning meeting is a wonderful time to share books that you've read or have really gotten excited about. And a place to find those books is through Epic. Epic is organized kind of like a classroom library. Epic is one of the ways that we'll have access to a classroom library virtually. I am going to X out of this presentation so I can show you what I mean. Let's take a look at Epic. So I'm going to go to Explore, and I'm noticing that these different categories are kind of like our classroom library categories. We have leveled books, books by levels. So here you can change the level just like you would change where you're looking in a library. If I go back to Explore, you can see that there's also different, topics. Like science and arts, English language arts, social emotional learning. And I can also see this super important recommended page. What's recommended for me? What does Epic think I'll like? That's kind of like a friend recommending a book to me. So really be considerate when you're looking around Epic. You should be looking at your specific level books, but also looking for books that you're really interested in. Let's go back to my presentation. So we're going to make a plan. We will make a list of things to do when we get back in the classroom together in order to create a buzz about books. We will plan how we will organize our library too in order to help with this buzz. We're going to organize our books. We're going to plan a spot where we can share about some of our favorite books. And we're all going to promise to really talk about the books that we're reading. This is something that we can look forward to. Let's review our anchor chart and all of the ways that we can make reading the best it can be. To make reading the best it can be, I will find a good reading spot. I hope you've all been doing this. We'll talk about books. We'll read books like they are gold and not like curmudgeons. We will choose books that we love. We will study reading patterns and set new goals. We will check to make sure that our books are right within reach. Not too easy, not too hard, but just right. And finally, we'll set up systems for finding and sharing great books. Maybe making a top 10 list like in this picture. My top 10 favorite books. It's super important to be thinking about what you as a reader need. There are a bunch of different ways we can find really great books to keep reading interesting and to keep it the perfect fit for us. I know that you as readers don't want to read about something you're not interested in. Reading can be so fun if you just keep in mind all of the different systems and ways to find a book that you're really excited about and to find your just right book. We'll become more powerful readers if we do this.